Musk and Bezos are seriously obsessed with Twitter? Let's find out. I've been noticing this very common obsession among billionaires: tweeting. My question is, why do billionaires tweet? Is it because they no longer have to earn a living? Or maybe because they're bored? I wanted to analyze this situation in our video for today. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Let's talk about Elon first. Elon, who is currently the world's richest man, has said that at least 50% of my tweets were made on a porcelain throne, adding that it gives me solace. This disclosure inspired astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson to do some calculations, leading to the deduction that more than 8,000 tweets over 12.5 years suggest that, on average, Musk poops twice a day. Which brings us back to my first question: why does Musk tweet so much? One explanation is that he just can't help himself. He has revealed that he has Asperger's. "Look, I know I sometimes say or post strange things," he said on Saturday Night Live, "but that's just how my brain works." It may also be an incomplete explanation for his business success, because his mastery of SpaceX and Tesla suggests not only high intelligence, but also an ability to focus powerfully on exceptionally complex problems, without being distracted by other deliberations. There are, however, darker analyses, shared, it seems, by the US Securities and Exchange Commission, that some of his tweetings are not, as it were, involuntary, but are aimed at manipulating stock markets, which I think is a possibility since he has the brains to make such complex calculations. An example is his announcement on the 4th of April that he had acquired a 9.2% stake in Twitter, sent its shares rocketing upwards from $39.31 to $49.97, which meant the value of his holding went from $2.9 billion to $3.5 billion, giving him an estimated profit of $600 million in a single day. Another example is that on the 26th of April, he agrees to buy the company, whose shares were trading at $49.68 that day, for $54.20 a share, which leads Wall Street to conclude that he was paying too much. And another example is when, on the 13th of May, he announced that he is pausing his bid pending investigation of Twitter's estimate of the commonness of spam bots on the platform, and the share price flips, confirming Wall Street's view of its overvaluation, but also suggesting that Musk might be trying to wiggle out of this seemingly dumb deal. And if that proves impossible for legal reasons, stand by for a gush of tweets depicting himself as a victim. One thing we can all agree on, though, is that Musk is one of a kind. Enough about Elon now. Let's move on to this other insanely rich guy, also obsessed with space exploration: Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder. He bought the venerable Washington Post newspaper in August 2013 for what was efficiently minor change, $250 million. This had the valuable side effect of infuriating Donald Trump. More importantly, it secured the paper's future. And as far as we can tell, Bezos doesn't seem to be driving the Post's editorial agenda. Yet, Bezos also seems to have a tweeting problem. Last week, for example, Joe Biden published a relaxing tweet saying, "You want to bring down inflation? Let's make sure the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share." Up pops Bezos saying the newly created Disinformation Governance Board should review this tweet, or maybe they need to form a new non-sequitur board instead. Raising corp taxes is fine to discuss. Taming inflation is critical to discuss. Mushing them together is just misdirection. He followed this with what can only be labeled as a sermonette in Twitter speak. In fact, the administration tried hard to inject even more stimulus into an already overheated inflationary economy, and only Manchin, Joe, the coal brokerage founder, who is also a senator representing West Virginia, saved them from themselves. Inflation is a regressive tax that most hurts the least affluent. Misdirection doesn't help the country. But that doesn't answer the question: why is Bezos wasting his time on Twitter? I can only think of two reasons, one bad and one good. The bad one is that he's bored not running Amazon anymore, and needs to do some virtue signaling just to show Musk that other billionaires are available. But that raises another question for me. I feel like Politico's Jack Schafer put it in better words than I ever could. Twitter fulminations may give Bezos a rush of ego gratification, but why should the man who owns an entire dairy get such a kick out of sipping from a personal-sized milk carton? The most generous clarification is that, unlike most owners of newspapers, he's not using the Post as his personal megaphone and using Twitter to pamper his inner child, like Musk, but without the toilet. Anyway, this wraps up our video for today. What do you think about this video? Let us know in the comment section down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.